Yay!
Yay. Um, Hello.
Hi.
Eric thinks you're really cool. He sees why I love you so much.
That's why I love him.
hmm Yeah, it's pretty spectacular. Um, this whole element of play surfaced last night.
Mm.
Um, it was really interesting. Um, and I think it's something that I'm going to like tie into everything that I do from now on. Is
Yeah,
this element of play?
because I think you already do. Now you have.
Oh yeah, like I just didn't do it and didn't like think to I didn't think to um, incorporate it in teaching and in lessons because that's something that I naturally do and I don't necessarily think about it and how fucking vital and important it is, right? This element of play because the elements of play, let me just look here. So the elements of play are anticipation, surprise, pleasure, understanding, strength, and poise. So anticipation leads to interest, openness, readiness, expectation, curiosity, desire, exuberance, and wonderment, like in that order.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure that's not always like the way, but
yeah, yeah.
then it's surprise, which is appreciation, awakening, stimulation, excitement, discovery, arousal, thrill, astonishment.
Okay.
And then there's the pleasure, which is satisfaction, buoyancy, gratification, joy, happiness, delight, glee, and fun. And then the understanding goes to tolerance, empathy, knowledge, skill, insight, mutuality, sensitivity, and mastery. And all of that is like elements of intimacy, right?
Yeah. Wait,
Um,
go through that last list again.
so understanding leads to tolerance, empathy, knowledge, skill, insight, mutuality, sensitivity, and mastery.
I think those first two lead to the last two.
Tolerance and empathy lead to sensitivity and mastery.
No, no, no. I think anticipation. What was it? It was anticipation and surprise
Yeah, lead to the understanding.
and pleasure.
Yeah,
Because pleasure is the result of play.
yeah.
But pleasure is like to have that be an element of play feels weird, and the understanding is the result. It's understanding, pleasurable understanding through anticipation and surprise. But there's other elements that are missing, and they're like in the surprise makes adds a lot to play because that's the whole point of a joke is that there's a setup and there's anticipation and some people are there's this it's a massive surprise but it's always a bit of a surprise or an exaggeration, which is surprise. Um, but I think there's more elements to play, and that pleasure is not an inherent part of it. I think it's a result of it. Same with the understanding.
So, and I think that that's one of the elements in it that kind of comes from the play.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I think there's. I think the thing that's missing is communication.
Wouldn't that be the understanding?
Yeah, but I think it deserves its own thing because it's like a dance. It's an interplay and it's back and forth.
Well, the thing with play is that it's an embodiment practice, right? It's
Yeah.
not a knowledge thing because when you start bringing that like cerebral aspect of it, it no longer becomes play
Yes. Okay.
because there's not that element of spontaneity that play requires.
Yes. Got
So
it.
as soon as you start to put framework around it, it doesn't become play anymore. And I mean, I think that you can have all the communication understanding beforehand and then move into the play so
Hmm.
that you have that kind of in the back of your mind, but it's not like, yeah, one of the huge elements of play is this spontaneity. It's just like that it's kind of random and everything just kind of surfaces through the play. And it's it is an interaction between you and whoever you're playing with, and it's so much embodiment and presence.
Yes.
Like if you're not present, you're not playing.
So that should be on the list then. Presence. I like that as its own thing.
So this is just like elements of play from like play research.
Yeah, I had a really good book on play therapy that had read years ago, and I really liked it. Um, I had some at Kindle somewhere. I think I have notes in there, so I'll look that up when I'm playing.
Yeah.
When
So
I'm playing.
the other two pieces to this, anyways, are
Mhm.
strength, which is stamina, vitality, devotion, ingenuity, wit, drive, passion, and that leads to creativity.
Okay, cool.
And then there's poise, which is dignity, grace, composure, ease, contentment, fulfillment, spontaneity, and balance.
Yeah, and lack of composure is fun too.
Oh, totally, totally.
Let's get messy.
Let's get messy. So, and how, like, last night we were, Eric's wonderfully sensitive, and kind of all the stuff going on in the world, and like he's out of his element. He's been at my house for a week basically, and it's new for him, and being around the kids is new, and he's got all
Mhm.
these concepts and all this stuff that's just like really throwing him off, and um, affecting his ability to be present. And I feel that because I'm super sensitive to that.
Mhm.
And I'm like, what are we missing here? And then I'm like, no, we just need to play. Like, we just need to play. Like, and he loves to play. Like, he legit plays all day long.
Yeah,
So I'm like, let's bring that in. And it was just like a completely different experience.
it's so good.
But then, I bring this into everyone else's, um, everyone else's relationships too, right? And that when we and like that quote kind of says is like when your relationships grow old, you you lose that play, or your relationship grows old because there's that lack of play.
Yeah,
So really drawing that in and creating spaciousness
because
and playing
there's
play too, right? It's not like you just jump into the bedroom and play because that is a complete lack of spontaneity, right?
well, that's the thing is the play and the spontaneity. You're coming from a place without an agenda, without a list of tactics, without this 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 script of what works. That
Yeah.
you know, and you're rediscovering, you're learning each other for the first time, and it gets to be fresh again, which is what everybody says they want. Like, oh, we have to bring the spark back, or we want to, like, I want to go back to how it was when we first met and stuff like that. And this is how that happens.
Yeah.
Uh, and I mean, that's what I would say when I was overseeing that Lottie Han for the temple night I did. I was just spent the time watching, which was really great. And I just said it maybe twice, like, stop doing what you think feels good for somebody. Stop doing what you know, what you do every time with every partner. Stop following your scripts. Just move from, shut your brain off and disconnect and just move from moving. Yeah.
Absolutely. And we get so task oriented with sexuality, and so the goal is pleasure, and the goal is orgasms, and the goal is like to leave your woman just like completely exhausted, um, which are all like very sweet things to think about,
Yeah.
um, and it takes the element of play out of it, because then and especially men tend to be a little bit more single focused than women,
Yeah.
um, but women can be single focused in this too, and that they're like, I just want to get it over with. um, it's a thing that I have a like that I speak to women about, um, because their minds are so like blah, that they can't actually be present and play and experience that pleasure. So they're just like, okay, the task is to get my husband off, and that's that. So there's this, where was I going with that thought? Oh yeah, so then and often men, because like for men, like sex is kind of over for them when they orgasm, right? But women, we can have multiple orgasms, so it's like there's less of an end with women than there is with men.
Yeah.
Um, and so the goal of the man is to give the woman all of the things that she needs, right? Which is very sweet and honorable. And that element of play is going to intensify that tenfold. It's going to create an environment where there's no pressure on her, so she can just flow, and that's what we need.
Yeah.
And
No,
that's what we need too.
it goes back to, it goes to that idea of intention versus agenda.
Yeah. Like, what is the intention? When our intention is for pleasure and connection and intimacy and just all of that juiciness, then it really um, takes away all the pressure.
Yeah.
So I'm super jazzed to like incorporate all these
Yeah.
like
Um,
concepts into, because that's what I'm hearing. That's basically every message that I get from couples is um, there's no fun anymore. I'm like, okay, how can we play? And just being with Eric is a lot of fun because he just plays all the time, like physically plays all the time.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like we're always rolling around somewhere and like rolling with each other because he does jujitsu, right?
Yeah.
And he's not gonna like tackle me or anything like that, but you
Yeah.
know, just that that play.
It's funny because one of the things I do remember about that play therapy book was um, there was a chapter called Wrestling.
Oh my god.
And it's the first lines of it were like, bear with me. You're going to hate this. This is going to sound so counter to like wrestle with your kids, but this is so important.
Yeah.
Uh, and, you know, one of the other things from there, this is specifically about kids, but it was like, I mean, you weave it all together. Play is how kids, that's their work. That was a Mr. Rogers quote, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Play is their work. Like that's how they experience the world.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't you want to be like a kid?
This is it.
And it's a learning. That's how they learn. That's how they that's how they learn boundaries. That's how they learn their voice. That's how they learn um, their capability. That's how they stretch themselves, and that's how they. You could throw in a whole thing about mindset there, like fixed versus flexible mindset, right? Like you hit an edge, and you're like, "Oh, I can't do that. I'll never be able to do that." Versus like, let's explore and let's dismantle the rigidity of our limitations by just making it play and not something wrong with us and who we inherently are.
Yeah. Because it's not. And this concept of, like jumping into bed and wrestling for, 10, 15 minutes or like a few songs or like however fucking long you want to play. Like want to wrestle and just like roll and tickle and be silly and make noises and, really like completely relaxes your body and puts you in a position where you can be aroused.
Mm-hmm. I had a similar conversation with someone, this woman who I've been seeing. Um, she sent me a random text at like 2 a.m. like, "Are you more of a boobs guy or a butt guy?" And I was like, "Well, I like all these different things." And she's like, "Oh,
Yes.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, yes." She was like, well, "I'm just trying to figure out what kind of nudes to send you." I was like, "If you're in them, they're perfect, so don't worry." And she's like, I get, I'm a little shy sometimes about this, that, the other. And I was like, cool, let's play with it. Let's figure it out. I was like, let's just take the there's a concept from Lamarck that's like There's a difference between insignificant and non-significant, right? Something that's insignificant might be a piece of dust on the wind, but non-significant is, uh, this is okay to talk about. This is manageable. We can have a conversation about it. And if it's super heavy and intense and we bring this fear to this situation, then it becomes significant. But if it's, like I was saying with the guy who ran the conscious kink thing, if somebody showed up with this dark masculine energy, it would be significant and heavy and intense. And this guy was just like, hello. It was like, thank your partner, give him a high five or oral sex. And you're like, okay, cool.
Yay.
Yeah, thanks, partner. Like, just
Give them some gratitude.
yeah, non-significant. So such an easy space to allow for that play. It's like, this doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, so it can really negate any of the fears around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Admitting that the other person is scared too.
Yeah.
We're safe because we're both figuring this out.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I told my ex's kid, he was nervous about talking to a girl, and I said, don't forget, she takes poops too. He was like, what do you mean? I was like, she sits on the toilet and squeezes one out. She's just a human.
We're just humans, all of us. Like, we really are just humans. I find with me, because of my sexual experience, because of what I do as a sex coach, like the amount of pressure on men with me is high, and like the intimidation is real. And I'm just like, hey, I think you're hot. I'm really attracted to you. I think you're brilliant, and I just want to play with you. Like, will you come play with me?
Yeah.
And it's really unfortunate sometimes that they put so much pressure on themselves.
It's fucking awful.
To like goal orient, like, I need to make sure that this woman is as satisfied as she can possibly be, so that I don't know.
I need to last this long. I need to do this. I need to do that.
And it completely takes them out of presence and makes it the complete opposite, because I can feel that.
Mm-hmm.
You go away somewhere, I know. And I'm like, come back to me. And I would rather have presence than performance. 100%. 100%.
And play's a great way. Yeah.
I think play might be the only way.
I was going to say, like, the only rule is you can't be aroused. Like, you have to be able to just play. No agenda, no. For a guy, like, if you're trying to get them aroused or something like that, you're coming from an agenda. You're coming from something like that.
Yeah. And like,
to create some sort of exercise that's doing something with no agenda and keep shifting what how to really be in some space without an agenda.
so do you think that it's like when that surfaces, the arousal surfaces, because yes, don't have the agenda, and when it surfaces, just let it flow.
Don't let it stop the flow. Don't let it be,
don't stop the flow of the arousal once it starts.
Yeah, and don't stop the flow of the play of like, I must have done something to make this happen. Like, I'm sensing the energy shift. What did I do? How do I do that again? That's the thought that comes up.
That is totally a thought process. Oh my God, it's so funny. And because men play for points, right? And they're like, okay, so I did this and this and this, and that got her off. So I'm going to do that all the time.
Every single time.
And that is like torture for us. It takes away all the spontaneity. It's not torture for us, because there's time and a place that I'm just like, oh my God, can you just like go down a while and get me off and do the things that you know that I love to do? But really decreases that exploration and limits our sexuality. And that's another issue with monogamous partnerships, is that we find this list of things that our partner likes, and those are the list of things that we do, and we forget to go and explore it because our bodies are constantly changing, our comfort levels with our bodies are constantly changing.
Yeah.
Like we might not like a rim job for a while, and like we might be really self-conscious of that, but then we develop some comfort, and if they don't go and explore that someday, then we don't know that we really love it. You know what I mean?
And this is what kills off all sex in relationships. It's just like, oh, they didn't want it again, so I'm not even going to try anymore. We're going to just lay here next to each other.
And then for the person that doesn't want it, it's also like, can we keep an open mind? Can we either gain more knowledge or do some self exploration, or, you know, really communicate with the partners with what about it is something we fear? Like for anal sex, for example, a lot of people are really scared of poop. A lot of people are really, that's really the, and oh, poop and pain. Those are the two things, right? So can we mitigate the pain so easily, so easily?
Take a deep breath.
Yeah, and then poop is totally easy to mitigate too. So once we can organize those two things, then really our fears are kind of demolished, and it's like we can open ourselves up for the opportunity to explore that with our partner. But if we're not even able to talk about that, if you're not even able to have that conversation with your husband or wife, this is the point where we need to like seek outside help, and like how can we bridge that gap in that communication to have those conversations, or how can we get comfortable enough in our bodies to permit that conversation as well, because that's another huge thing. It's just we're so self-conscious of everything, and it's like our bodies are just gorgeous vessels for pleasure everywhere, like everywhere. And it's, can we surrender, kind of like that thing in level 2, right? And that my nipples, I don't like my nipples to be played with, but when I stepped into that space, like it was pleasurable for me to have my nipples played with. And then I come out and I'm like Casey again. I'm like, don't touch my fucking nipples, you know. But and I allow for that time and space. Like if somebody was like obsessed with my nipples, I would get into a mindset that, and I would extend and stretch that. And there's times where my partners are like, I'm gonna play with your nipples, because it's not a hard no, it's a soft no, and it's a willingness for me. I'm like, yeah, go play, enjoy them, and then I just get into a state where I can let that flow too.
Because in that state, you're connecting to allowing of all of their expression, not just shifting how the sensation lands.
Yeah, and I am in that allowing and not in the enduring. So I'm still in full consent, in full willingness, like a wanting willing. Like I want to give you this gift of my nipples, you know?
Gift wrap nipples.
Mm-hmm. I want to stop this conversation now because I want to share it.
Okay.
And then I want to continue to converse about something different.
I'm going to hit. Do you want me to stop recording?
Yeah.
Goodbye, recording.
Bye, world.